started from way back in time. Men were searching for the light.
One followed all the signs.
Then he stopped to pray, trudged beside a wide archway, until a stranger came,
treated him like a long-lost friend, invited him to stay.
And the gate unlocked, the door opened, and the light came flooding in.
The path was set for every step, so we can find our way.
And the light shines bright on Carmel, from the mountain to the bay. And the light shines bright on Carmel, night and day.
Born in Shiraz, a city in southern Iran, on the 20th day of October 1819, Sayyid Ali Muhammad would become known to the world as the Bab, meaning the gate in Arabic. The Bab was a symbolic gate between past ages of prophecy and a new age of fulfillment for humanity. His primary purpose was to awaken the people to the fact that a new period in human history had begun, one which would witness the unification of the entire human race and the emergence of a world civilization of spirituality and material prosperity. This great day would be established through the influence of a divinely inspired educator, whom the Bab referred to as He whom God shall make manifest. It was his own mission, the Bab declared, to herald the coming of this promised manifestation of God, whom we know to be Baha'u'llah. This is a photo of the room where the Bab was born. During the days of the childhood of the Bab, if someone wished their son to be taught by Sheikh Adib at his Quranic school, they had to meet with him in person. Usually, they would ask for a place at the school in person or through someone distinguished. Sheikh Adib was not keen on taking on students of just any person. For instance, he was reluctant to take on students whose parents were shopkeepers, as he considered them to be ill-mannered, and therefore a personal meeting or letter of recommendation was required. Sayyid Muhammad Rida, father of the Bab, met with Sheikh Adib, whom he had known from before, to enroll the Bab in his Quranic school. During this meeting, he, the father of the Bab, recounted some stories from the early years of the Bab's life that distinguished him. This is one of those stories taken from the accounts of Mirza Habibullah Afnan. After 40 years, the exalted Lord has graced me with a child who has caused me wonder over his behavior. The Sheikh asked him to explain further, but he only replied, "It's hard to say." The Sheikh insisted, to which the father offered, "O Venerable Sheikh, which of his amazing conditions should I recount? Such peculiar characteristics are manifest in him that the people are astonished. Were I to recount all that I have observed from the time of his birth until the present, it would make a thick book." At such a young age, he tells whether an unborn child is a boy or a girl, for the whole clan. After the birth, it is as he foretold. And again, some time ago, together with his maternal uncle, the esteemed Haji Mirza Sayyid Ali, we were at the bathhouse of Bazarburg Quarter. This child was asleep between his uncle and me, when suddenly he rose and stated, "The vaulted roof of the Garm Khani steam chamber of Mirza Hadi's bathhouse, which was for women, has just caved in and 5 women and 1 child have been killed under the rubble. His uncle said to him, Aga, please sleep and refrain from saying such things. What manner of talk is this? He responded, It is as I said. It was not long after that we heard a tumult of voice from the direction of the bathhouse, saying that Mirza Hadi's bathhouse was wrecked and a number of women were under the rubble. One person said 20 women were killed. Another said 30 or 40. But later it was determined that 5 women and a child had been killed. The truth was just as he had said. This is a tablet revealed by Baha'u'llah for this day. In the name of the one born on this day, him whom God hath made to be the herald of his name, the Almighty, the All-Loving. This is a tablet we have addressed unto that night wherein the heavens and the earth were illumined by a light that cast its radiance over the entire creation. Blessed art thou, O night, for through thee was born the day of God, a day which we have ordained to be the lamp of salvation unto the denizens of the cities of names, the chalice of victory unto the champions of the arenas of eternity, and the dawning place of joy and exaltation unto all creation. Immeasurably exalted is God, the maker of the heavens, who hath caused this day to speak forth that name whereby the veils of idle fancy have been rent asunder. The mists of vain imaginings have been dispelled, and his name, the self-subsisting, hath dawned above the horizon of certitude. Through thee the choice wine of everlasting life hath been unsealed. The doors of knowledge and utterance have been unlocked before the peoples of the earth, and the breezes of the All-Merciful have been wafted over every region. All glory be to that hour wherein the treasure of God, the All-Powerful, the All-Knowing, the All-Wise hath appeared. O concourse of earth and heaven, this is that first night, which God hath made to be a sign of that second night, whereon was born he whom no praise can befittingly extol, and no attribute describe. Well is it with him who reflecteth upon them both. Verily he will find their outer reality to correspond to their inner essence, and will become acquainted with the divine mysteries that lie enshrined in this revelation, a revelation through which the foundations of misbelief have been shaken, the idols of superstition have been shattered, and the banner hath been unfurled, which proclaimeth no God is there but him, the powerful, the exalted, the incomparable, the protector, the mighty, the inaccessible. On this night the fragrance of nearness was wafted. The portals of reunion at the end of days were flung open, and all created things were moved to exclaim, "The kingdom is God's, the Lord of all names, who is come with world-embracing sovereignty." On this night, the concourse on high celebrated the praise of its Lord, the exalted, the most glorious, and the realities of the divine names extolled him who is the King of the beginning and the end in this revelation, a revelation through whose potency the mountains have hasted unto him who is the all-sufficing, the Most High, and the hearts have turned towards the countenance of their best beloved, and the leaves have been stirred into motion by the breezes of yearning, and the trees have raised their voices in joyful reply to the call of him who is the unconstrained, and the entire earth hath trembled with longing in its desire to attain reunion with the eternal King, and all things have been made new by that concealed word which hath appeared in this mighty name. O night of thee all-bountiful, in thee do we verily behold the mother book. Is it a book in truth, or rather a child begotten? Nay, by myself, such words pertain to the realm of names, whilst God hath sanctified this book above all names. Through it the hidden secret and the treasured mystery have been revealed. Nay, by my life, all that hath been mentioned pertaineth to the realm of attributes, whereas the mother book standeth supreme above this. Through it have appeared the manifestations of there is no God but God over them all. Nay, while such things have been proclaimed to all people, in the estimation of thy Lord naught but his ear is capable of hearing them. Blessed are those that are well assured. Whereupon, dumbfounded, the pen of the Most High cried out, O thou who art exalted above all names, I adjure thee by thy might that encompasseth the heavens and the earth, to exempt me from mentioning thee, for I myself have been called into being by virtue of thy creative power. How then can I depict that which all created things are powerless to describe? And yet I swear by thy glory, were I to proclaim that wherewith thou hast inspired me, the entire creation would pass away from joy and ecstasy. How much more then would it be overwhelmed before the billows of the ocean of thine utterance in this most luminous, most exalted, and transcendent spot. Absolve, O Lord, this faltering pen from magnifying so august a station, and deal mercifully with me, O my possessor and my King. Overlook then my trespasses in thy presence. Thou verily art the Lord of bounty, the all-powerful, the ever-forgiving, the most generous.
Say God sufficeth all things above all things, and nothing in the heavens or the earth but God sufficeth. Say God sufficeth all things above all things, and nothing in the heavens or the earth but God sufficeth. Say God sufficeth all things above all things, and nothing in the heavens or the earth but God sufficeth. Say God sufficeth all things above all things, and nothing in the heavens or the earth but God sufficeth. And verily he is in himself the knower, sustainer, the omnipotent. Say God sufficeth. Say God sufficeth. Say God sufficeth. Say God sufficeth. Say God sufficeth all things above all things, nothing in the heavens or the earth but God sufficeth. Say God sufficeth all things above all things, nothing in the heavens or the earth but God sufficeth.
The Bab had two amanuenses, Sayyid Hussein and Mirza Ahmad, but he also wrote verses in his own hand. The Bab was an accomplished calligrapher of exquisite beauty. Abdul Baha describes a specimen of the Bab's penmanship. He writes of Mullah Abdul Karim, who was to deliver a box containing the Bab's writings, ring, and pen case to Baha'u'llah shortly before his execution, and who was pressured by those in his company to open the box and reveal its contents. The master states, importuned by the company, he produced a long epistle in blue, penned in the most graceful manner, with the utmost delicacy and firmness, in a beautiful, minute Shikasta hand, written in the shape of a man so closely that it would have been imagined that it was a single wash of ink on paper. When they had read this epistle, they perceived that he had produced 360 derivatives of the word Baha. Then Mullah Abdul Karim conveyed the trust to its destination. Abdul Baha, A Traveler's Narrative. The Bab describes himself as the primal point from which have been generated all created things, one of the sustaining pillars of the primal word of God, the mystic fane, the great announcement, the flame of that supernal light that glowed upon Sinai, the remembrance of God, the Qayyim promised to the Shiites, the Mahdi awaited by the Sunnis, the return of John the Baptist expected by the Christians, the Yushadar Ma referred to in the Zoroastrian scriptures, and the return of Elijah anticipated by the Jews.
It started from way back in time. Men were searching for the light.
One followed all the signs.
Then he stopped to pray, trudged beside a wide archway, until a stranger came,
Treated him like a long lost friend, invited him to stay.
and the gate
Unlocked, the door opened, and the light came flooding in. The path was set for every step, so we can find our way.
And the light shines bright on Carmel, from the mountain to the bay. And the light shines bright on Carmel, night and day.
We've been waiting for so long,
For so long,
trying to hear another song.
another song. Now it's calling on and on, wherever we may be.
There's a place that we can find, sure to bring peace of mind.
Peace of mind, where the sun always shines for all eternity.
'Cause the gate's unlocked, the door open, and the light is flooding in. The path is lit for every step, so we can find our way.
And the light shines bright on Carmel, from the mountain to the bay. And the light shines bright on Carmel, night and day.
I am, the promised one. I am, the promised one. I am, was one.